Great Coasters International just revealed their all-new steel track. If you're familiar with GCI, then you would know they are one of the few remaining coaster designers that solely builds wood coasters. Last year, they showed us their interest in using a steel support structure to make their coasters taller, and now we know they have an interest in using steel track. There's quite a few possibilities that can come with this track, so on today's episode of Coaster Theory, we look into GCI's new steel track and see what might come. Will it be the first GCI hybrid or even the first GCI steel coaster? If you're new to the channel, make sure to tap that subscribe button down below for more videos just like this every Friday. With that all said, enjoy. Before I go on with the video, I want to thank all of you for the support I've gotten over the last week. I've recently reached 1,000 subscribers and I owe it all to you. I normally do weekly shoutouts, and with all the support, here are just some of the many comments I received. VW, Ryan De Silva, Orchard, Stick Skinny 12, Midwestern Thrills, and Marcus Stanley. If you want to get featured in my next video, then post something in the comments down below. If I like it, I'll be sure to put you at the beginning of next week's video. Alright, let's get into this GCI track. The steel track was announced at an ACE event held at Fun Spot Orlando. Personally, I was unable to attend the event myself, so the footage you see in this video is due courtesy of Midway Mayhem. If you are interested in seeing the original video, click the top link in the description down below. Before we go diving into possibilities that might come, what is everything we know about this track? With the reveal, we learned what it looks like, but that's it. As of when this video is being released, the track does not have a specific name, nor do we know the purpose to why GCI developed it. I think the overall reaction people had coming out of the announcement was the question, will GCI start making hybrids? I think it's safe to say we will eventually see a GCI hybrid. I say this because GCI is a wood coaster manufacturer, so we know they are comfortable with making wood structures, and I don't think it would take too much to put this steel track on a wood frame. So, will these hybrids be retrofit like something along the lines of what RMC does, or will they be ground up? I believe we are looking at ground up creations. I think this for two reasons. First, RMC is the master of redoing old wood coasters. At first, I questioned if it was even a good idea for GCI to start making hybrids because they would compete with a company that has a flawless track record. I feel a park would really want to do something different if they choose a GCI over an RMC. Take Ghost Rider for instance. A few years back, GCI came in and retracted the whole ride, making it arguably the best ride at Knott's Berry Farm. Aside from GCI, Knott's was also looking at what RMC could do with the original structure, but they ultimately settled on GCI because they wanted to have a ride that was different from Twisted Colossus, which is something I totally understand. Let's hypothesize. Let's say GCI's steel track was around back when they were redoing Ghost Rider. Would the park have chosen to stick with the wood retracking, or would they have chosen the new steel retracking? If they were to choose GCI's steel track, then where is the barrier between Twisted Colossus and the new Ghost Rider? Where is the barrier between GCI and RMC? And I don't want to seem like I'm jumping to conclusions. GCI could have done what they did anyway and just given Ghost Rider a wood retracking, and that would have been just fine. Anyway, that's reason one. Reason two, it's sad to say, but the world is running out of coasters to retrofit. Lead RMC engineer Alan Schilke said himself that there are only a handful left. I think RMC has made it clear with the recent additions of Zadra and soon to be Iron Gwazi that they want to shift their business away from making retrofits and more into building ground up, simply because they need to focus on alternative options. Of course, if a park approaches RMC asking for a redo of a coaster, then RMC would be more than happy to do it for them, but once we run out of coasters, RMC is really going to need to focus on building ground up. And on a side note, this is also showing in the RMC Raptor models and the soon-to-be T-Rex model. A GCI retrofit is still on the table, so what's a ride out there that could really use the GCI treatment? I think by far the best option is Wildcat at Hershey Park. Wildcat was GCI's first coaster, and I, like many, have wanted to see it get the RMC treatment for the longest time, but some thought to keep it because it was GCI's first coaster. Well, with this new track, it can become the hybrid it deserves to be and stay a GCI. If we were to see a GCI hybrid retrofit, I think Wildcat is by far the best option. Alright, theory number 2. GCI will use the steel track to make their first all-steel coaster. Just like me, you might be thinking of this weird-looking GCI steel track with B&M looking supports. That is not what this ride is going to look like. For inspiration, we need to look at Invader or Texas Stingray. These are both some of GCI's newest coasters, and with them, it is a steel structure with wood track. To clarify something, these are not considered hybrid coasters. Even though they use both wood and steel, it is indeed a wood coaster. But if we were to remove that wood track and replace it with steel track, then it is no longer a wood coaster. It would be GCI's first steel coaster. I'm going to make a bold prediction that we will see an all-steel coaster come first before the hybrid, because GCI is getting more comfortable with their steel support structures. On the topic of a steel support structure, I would not be surprised if we see GCI build their first hyper. With the steel track and steel supports, I think 200 feet is a no-brainer. Now, if GCI chooses to incorporate wood in this somehow, maybe on some lower parts, maybe more towards the end of the ride, then it would be classified as a hybrid because some of the structure would be wood. If they do use some wood structure on this ride and classify it as a hybrid, then it could be one of the tallest hybrids and compete with RMC, but RMC also does use a steel structure on their see-through lift hills, so it'd be interesting to see which company can build taller. Lastly, I want to talk about a launch coaster and the Infinity Flyer trains. Last IAAPA, GCI announced their next-gen Millennium Flyer trains they named the Infinity Flyer. A quick sum up of what these Infinity Flyers consist of is they will be able to take tighter turns, handle beyond negative G-forces aka ejector airtime, they will have an all-new hydraulic restraint system to make it more custom to each and every rider, the trains can invert, and it will be able to handle launches. With the way Lightning Rod turned out as being the first launched wooden coaster, will GCI take advantage of this and maybe make the first launched hybrid coaster and or launch coasters of sorts using this new track? I think so. They made it clear their new trains can handle launches, and I think they are interested in going that route. A launched GCI, can you imagine? Does anyone else want this to replace the B&M wing coaster for King's Dominion 2021? Because I know I do. Out of these three options, I said which is most likely to come first. This may be different from what you're thinking, but I'm going out on a limb and I'm going to say the all-steel coaster will come first. As of which I would like to see come first, it would be a launched hybrid with inversions. I know that's a lot to ask, but GCI has made it very clear that they can do it, and if they can do it, I would love to ride it. So out of all the options I said, what do you think will come first? Or am I missing something entirely? As always, I love to hear what you have to say. Post your thoughts in the comments down below. Maybe GCI will use their new steel track to make the first Giga hybrid invert. I don't know, craziest coaster theory gets pinned. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed and want to see more just like it, click this playlist right here. If you want to subscribe to my channel, click my little logo right beneath me. I am your host, Zach from Theme Park Media, signing off, and I will catch you in the next one.